Hello, my reading friends. My name is Wande. Thank you so much for joining me today for story time. Are you ready for today's story? Today we are reading The Greatest Animal in the Jungle by Sope. Do you have a copy? Why don't you grab it so you can read along with me? Deep in the jungle lived a mouse named Afuwe. Early one morning, at the time when mice usually go to bed, Afuwe was wide awake. He was too excited to sleep. It was his birthday. He hopped out of bed and did a little mouse dance. Afuwe loved birthdays. He loved presents even more. He was going to get lots of presents today. He could feel it in his whiskers. There was just one question. Was anyone awake to give him a present? It was so early the sun hadn't woken up. The sky was dark blue and the jungle was quiet. The day animals were just waking up and night animals were going to sleep. Then Afuwe remembered. Godfather! His godfather Tortoise would be awake. Afuwe hopped out of his little hole in the jungle and onto the path to the tortoise's cave. He had not been walking for long when he heard a sound. It was coming from a tree branch above him. Afuwe froze. He knew that sound. He stopped breathing. Maybe if he stood really still, the owl would not see him. Said the owl. I see you, little mouse. Afuwe looked up slowly. He saw two big, round, yellow eyes staring at him through the leaves. Afuwe screamed and started to run. The owl gave a frightful hoot and swooped down after Afuwe. Afuwe ran as fast as he could. He did not want to be eaten, and certainly not on his birthday. Afuwe could feel the whoosh of air from the owl's wings as he ran. The owl flew closer and closer, but Afuwe could see Tortoise's cave up ahead. Just as the owl stretched its claws to catch Afuwe, he made it into the cave. The owl tried to follow Afuwe inside the cave, but the entrance was too small. Another time, little mouse, said the owl. I'll get you. With that, the owl flew away. Tortoise crawled out from deep inside the cave. He found Afuwe huffing and puffing and shaking. What's wrong, Afuwe? Asked Tortoise. Afuwe told Tortoise about the owl and how he had almost got eaten on his birthday. I hate being a mouse, godfather, said Afuwe. Everyone is bigger and stronger than I am. I don't want to be a mouse. I want to be the greatest animal in the jungle so I never get scared again. You can be happy as a mouse, Afuwe, said Tortoise, but you must learn this for yourself. Tortoise went deep into his cave and returned with a pendant on a necklace. He gave it to Afuwe. Take this as your birthday present, little one, said Tortoise. Wear it around your neck. It will grant you 5 wishes. You can be whatever animal you wish to be. After the 5th wish is granted, the pendant will stop working. You will live the rest of your life as the last animal you wish to be. Afuwe could not wait to test the pendant. He thanked his godfather and hurried out of the cave. With one wish, Afuwe could be anything he wanted to be. He wanted to be the greatest animal in the jungle. Owls are big and wise, said Afuwe, and they can fly really fast. I wish I were an owl. Afuwe's pointy mouse nose started to grow. It grew longer and sharper and harder until it wasn't a nose anymore. It was a beak. Afuwe's grey fur started to turn brown and it grew fuller and fuller until he was covered in feathers. His hands became wings and his legs became claws. The pendant was working. Afuwe was becoming an owl. Afuwe gave a happy hoot and flapped his wings. He felt his claws lift off the ground and soon he was up in the air. Oh, it's good to be the greatest animal in the jungle, said Afuwe. Afuwe flew high above the jungle. He glided up and down, around and around. Soon, Afuwe spotted a cheetah drinking by a stream. He swooshed down and landed next to the cheetah. Who is the greatest animal in the jungle? Afuwe asked the cheetah. The cheetah looked at Afuwe. Certainly not you, she said. Afuwe was angry. What do you mean? He asked. Why, I am the greatest animal in the jungle, said the cheetah. For no one can catch me when I run. Catch me if you can. The cheetah leapt up on her paws and began running across the plain. Faster and faster the cheetah went, and soon all Afuwe could see was a cloud of dust. Oh my, cried Afuwe. If only I could be as fast as a cheetah. Surely then I would be the greatest animal in the jungle. Afuwe touched his pendant. I wish I were a cheetah, he said. Afuwe's feathers disappeared with a whoosh. Little black spots popped up on his skin. His beak grew into a snout and his claws turned into paws. He began to swell. He grew bigger and bigger until boom! He became a cheetah. Afuwe started to run at once. He could feel the wind in his face and he laughed and stuck out his tongue. Faster and faster he went. Before long, Afuwe came across a lion and he stopped. The lion lay in the tall grass watching a pair of hyenas eat their lunch. Afuwe's stomach growled. He hadn't eaten anything all day. The lion yawned and stood. He walked over to the hyenas and gave a great big roar. The hyenas ran away, frightened. Afuwe's eyes widened. Wow, he said. If I were a lion, I could eat anybody's food. I wouldn't have to hunt and run and work. I wish I were a lion. Turning into a lion is very easy when you have a pendant that grants wishes. Pop, pop, pop went all the disappearing black spots on Afuwe's body. His snout grew bigger. His body grew stronger. The hair on his face grew longer and longer. Afuwe the lion roared. Now I am truly the greatest animal in the jungle. Afuwe walked to the lion, eating the hyena's lunch. He hoped he would not mind sharing. As Afuwe got closer, the other lion looked up at him. The lion gave a fierce roar. Go and get your own lunch. This one is mine. Afuwe did not like to fight. He left the angry lion to his meal. As Afuwe walked across the jungle, he saw many animals. He saw brightly colored birds and stripy hyenas. He saw silly little monkeys swinging from tree branch to tree branch. The monkeys stopped chattering as he walked under their trees. The hyenas stopped laughing when they saw Afuwe. The birds flew up to higher branches. Do you have a mighty trunk like me? Asked the elephant. Afuwe licked his snout. No. Do you have big, strong feet that can crush anything? She asked. Afuwe looked down at his paws. No. The elephant had one more question for Afuwe. Are you the biggest animal in the jungle? Afuwe looked up at the mighty elephant, then hung his head low. The elephant was right. She was the greatest animal in the jungle. He was just a silly lion. Oh, if only I were an elephant, Afuwe said. Then I would be the greatest animal in the jungle. How happy I would be. Quick as a blink, a long grey trunk shot out from Afuwe's face. What is this? Cried the elephant. Afuwe's legs grew thicker. He began to swell. He grew so large, he thought he would float away into the sky. When Afuwe's small lion ears turned into big flappy elephant ears, the other elephant turned around. You can have this tree, Mr. Whatever you are, she said, running off. I will find some other fruit to eat. Afuwe was now a big, strong elephant. "Ha!" said Afuwe. "Now that I'm an elephant, I know I am the greatest animal in the jungle." Now he could finally eat his lunch. He reached for the fruit on the baobab tree with his new long trunk. As Afuwe munched on the baobab fruit, he heard a noise in the bushes. Afuwe spread out his large ears. "Who's there?" said Afuwe. There was no answer. But Afuwe wasn't scared because he was the greatest animal in the jungle. He went back to his fruit. The rustling sound grew louder, and suddenly something darted out of the bush and up Afuwe's big elephant leg. Afuwe could feel the thing running across his back. Then it was on his belly. It was everywhere. Afuwe lashed at his body with his trunk, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't catch the tiny animal running all over him. "Stop it!" cried Afuwe. "Stop it!" How could such a small animal scare a big elephant like him? Why, it had to be the greatest animal in the jungle. Hopping from foot to foot, Afuwe made his fifth and final wish. "I don't want to be an elephant," he said. "I wish I were this scary little animal." Quick as a wink, Afuwe shrunk. Smaller and smaller he grew until he suddenly stopped. Afuwe looked down at his little mouse body and began to laugh. "This must be what Godfather Tortoise meant," Afuwe said. "I don't want to be anybody else. I like being a mouse." From a tiny mouse to an elephant as big as a house, Afuwe finally learned to be happy just as he was. Do you know what I love the most about this book? It taught me to be happy just as I am. You shouldn't wish to be anybody else because you were made perfectly. If you don't have a copy of this book, why don't you check the link in my bio so you can purchase yours? I hope you enjoyed today's story just as much as I did. Make sure you stay up to date by subscribing to my channel. Until next time, bye!